All right, got that settled. Welcome, family, to day 3. We're on day 3 of this Be Encouraged series. So today, I'm in a good mood. So today, I want to talk from this thought in Proverbs 3, right? Proverbs 3, verses 5 through 7. Now, this is one of the most familiar passages, probably one of the most familiar proverbs in Proverbs. But for me personally, this one scripture would have made my whole life look completely different had I followed it. So I felt like even though this is a popular text, I'm using it because it's relevant to where my life is and relevant to what I want to share with you guys today to encourage you. So it says, trust in the Lord with all your heart. Do not depend on your own understanding. Seek his will in all you do, and he will show you which paths to take. Then it reiterates verse 5 and says, don't be impressed with your own wisdom. Now, when I was first preparing this video, I was going to talk about how trusting in your own wisdom is one of the worst things you can do. Okay. Now, I still want to do that, but I want to refine it and make it more specific to an area of life that I believe most people suffer. Most people have a misunderstanding of what love is. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Don't lean on your own understanding. Do not be impressed with your own wisdom. As a matter of fact, before I get into this, speaking of being impressed by your own wisdom, before I talk about love, I want to share something that I believe will help you receive what I'm sharing today. Okay, so something different that I'm doing. I made a new whiteboard, and I've been dying to use it. So I'm gonna go to the whiteboard, and that's what we're gonna do. So this represents all knowledge. So let's say this circle represents all of the knowledge in the world. Of all the knowledge in the world, I'm sorry, that's not thicker. Of all the knowledge in the world, how much of it do you believe you possess? It'll be like this. Right? You can't even see that little dot. That's about how much knowledge you possess out of all of the available knowledge to human beings, to mankind, right? Okay, now, with your realm of knowledge, which is this little dot, right? If we blow that dot up, to this to be your realm of knowledge, right? So this represents everything that you know. So what's in here? In here, you know what you know. You know your name, you know your age, you know that you know where you live, you know that you know how to speak the language that you speak. You know what you know. Also in here, you know what you don't know. Right? You know what you don't know. Like, I know I don't know how to do calculus. I know I don't know why my nose is itching. Right? I know what I know, and I know what I don't know. Here's what you don't know. You don't know what you don't know. You don't know what you don't know. Like, for example, before you ever saw me, met me, or heard of me, you had no idea I existed. You didn't know that you didn't know me. So that realm of knowledge exists out here, right? You don't know what you don't know. So when it comes to today's lesson, what if what I'm sharing with you exists out here? It's not that it's not true. You just don't have knowledge of it. And you don't know that you don't know. And the reason I have this knowledge is not because I'm smarter than you. It's because I've studied differently. Like on your job, let's say you're an engineer. You study differently than me. So if I come to your job, I don't know what I don't know to perform your job. You're going to have to tell me. But here, I may, and I'm saying I may know more about marriage than you. I may know more about love than you. I may know more about how relationships work than you. Why? Because of how I've applied my life, how I've studied. It's not because I'm smarter. So as I teach this lesson today, I want you to understand, because I may hit you with some things
that's going to challenge the way that you think about love. Just understand when you hear it, that don't make sense. It might be out here. Just understand that it may be outside of your realm of knowledge. So your humility, your humble response to that is, I wonder. I just want you to consider it. Okay? All right, let's get back to the lesson.
All right. So the reason that we suffer so much in love is because we don't fully understand love from God's perspective. That we don't understand love the way God has. It's not how he's defined love, just what it is. We think love is about how good we feel or how good someone makes us feel, right? One time a lawyer tried to test Jesus on what's the greatest commandment. And Jesus said the greatest commandment is love. Love God, love your neighbor as yourself. And then when the lawyer asked for details, well, what does that mean? What does that look like? That's when Jesus told the story of what we call the Good Samaritan, right? It had nothing to do with how the Good Samaritan, so to speak, felt about the person he was helping. That's the picture of love that God gave. So I was talking to someone the other day, and the topic of love languages came up. And I was telling them that what Gary Chapman calls love languages are simply ways that you would like to be treated, right? Someone doing something to make you feel good is not a clear indication that they love, like, or care about you. You feel whatever you feel because of what you think, not because of what they're doing. People like to equate respect and love together, love and respect, love and respect. But at a certain level, respect can be subjective. Love is not subjective. What I mean by that is we don't get to make it up however we want. Like if somebody I'm the one that determines whether or not what you're doing to me is disrespectful. We think we could do the same thing with love, but that's not true. But unfortunately, that's exactly what we've done. We operate in love and we deal with love as if it's primarily about feelings, right? And then we end up hurting ourselves. The reason that everybody's looking for love is because it feels good or they want to feel good. That's why so many folk are looking for love. Most people are in some kind of emotional pain and they think that someone loving them is the answer. We seem to be more interested in feeling loved than actually being loved. But that's because we think that love is the ultimate feeling. If I believe that love is the ultimate feeling, then of course I'm gonna want that. Like, help me feel good. Don't lean on your own understanding. Don't just rest on what you've always thought about love. Love is not about fantasy. Love is consistent as opposed to emotional spikes. So, we talk, folk come to my office all the time, I don't feel in love anymore. That's an emotional spike. That's an emotional high. We think that's love. It's not. Right? The reason we want to feel something so bad is because of instead of healing our inner world, we turn to the hardcore drug of love. But it's not real. It's no more. So the love that we are in love with today is no more real love than crack is real joy. Like and I've never been on crack, but I presume it's a high feeling and it's whatever. It's not real joy. And the love that the love shots we're trying to get, these dopamine hits and try to feel, I'm on cloud nine. You're going to hurt yourself. That's not love, right? Love shows up when it's inconvenient. Love follows through. Love is predictable when it comes to care, right? Love moves towards you, not away from you. Love initiates conversations. Love cares about your inner world. Love asks how you're doing for real, right? Now, watch this, because there are a lot of people in marriages and relationships that experience this next part, and they don't understand, hey, that's not a part of love. Avoidance. Avoidance is not love. Withdrawing, not love. Silence, that's not love. Now, I'm not saying, don't forget the whiteboard. Okay, I'm not saying that you or your partner don't care about each other if you're doing these things, like if you're avoiding them, if you're being silent. I'm not saying that you don't love them, but what I am saying is that you are not loving them. It's a verb, ing. You're not doing the act of love when you do that. That's what I'm saying. Okay, love brings rest, not anxiety. When someone is actively loving you, you will feel safe when you're with them, right? You'll feel seen, you'll feel accepted, valued, understood. The more I learn about love, the more I realize how much of my life I had been looking for love in all the wrong places. What can that song? You know that song, Eddie Murphy. Buckwheat. Working for nub and all the wrong places. Working for nub. Like that's where I was. And when you trust your twisted understanding, stop, notes. So start flashing everywhere. So, when you trust your twisted understanding of love, you're going to purchase season tickets to the Sunken place. Season tickets, Sunken place. Why? Because you're hoping for something that's not real. I see it all the time in my office. And the thing is this, love shows up in fruit, not in feelings. You need to get that. Love shows up in fruit, not in feelings. Love is not about emotional highs. Love is not about chemistry. Love is not about deep conversations. Love's not about attraction. How many times have you had a strong attraction and mistaken that for love? Don't lie, I know you have, because that's what we humans do. But on the contrary, love is patient. Love is kind, humble, gentle, forgiving. Love is service-centered, not self-centered. And the real danger of leaning on your own understanding when it comes to love is the fact that Satan has a counterfeit. And most people are dealing with this counterfeit and they think that it's real love. But it's not, because it's rooted in pride. Yep. What is this counterfeit? It's called the fear of man, i.e., people pleasing. I believe that people pleasing is demonic. It's not just like I think I may have said earlier that in another lesson that, people pleasing is the most prevalent prison we humans live in. And the door not even locked, but we stay stuck in there. People pleasing will flip your life upside down. The reason that people pleasing is demonic is because it looked just like love. It's a counterfeit of the love that God has, or the love that God wants us to walk in. It looks like that, but it's rooted in selfishness. It's rooted in a prideful heart, right? It's what I learned to be as a young person, when I was a kid, I learned to be a people pleaser. I learned to perform for love. I learned to do the Michael Jackson for blind people, right? This concept of love will leave you feeling empty and alone. Right? So I hope this was helpful for you, but don't forget, trust in the Lord with all of your heart, with all of it. Don't lean on your own understanding, especially when it comes to love. Okay? All right. Hope this was helpful. Y'all, I will see you guys